let's update our mod to the latest version of Minecraft, talk about different dependencies and how we can find the versions for them and when to use them in our project. Hello everyone, welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. However, now becomes the problematic part. As you see, we have some error, and this is very interesting because fabric item settings is a very important part of mod development up until now. And it looks like something really changed inside Minecraft. How can we find it? If we look at the external libraries here, go to net Minecraft block and find blocks class. Double click it. And by the way, it's inside the external libraries. It says choose source. Okay, we want the source one. Now let's take a look. How is it creating a new settings for us? It says abstract block.settings, .create. And it's always using this. Okay, let's take a look at items. Items.register. These are science items, decoration items, new item.settings. So looks like we really changed the stuff. This is where things become a little bit unfriendly. Because if you look inside here, we don't have snowy jade.mod ID. Okay, remove that one. And it's not finding my mod ID. Okay, let's start from scratch. Reference. Do we have any errors here? No. The mod ID is here. So looks like I misspelled my mod ID, and that is why it was importing the mod ID from another mod. Interesting. Okay, and that's that one. Here is the thing. You need to move your code line by line, read everything, and find what is wrong here now. Alternatively, you can just play the client and, it will list all the errors for you. Let's do that. Wow, 100 errors. And remember, this is a very basic mod. It's a very, very basic mod without any critical code. You see, we have lots of issues here. This is the fun of modding Minecraft. You have to go and find where the problems are. Start with the easier ones. For example, we have one problem down here, and that's fabric item settings. It was item.settings, I think. So new items, item.settings. It looks like it's okay now. So we can run the game again, and the list will update itself. Ignoring this one, mod items cannot find blah. Of course, we can't find this one. And let's take a look. Okay, new fabric item settings. That's item dot settings. So I will copy this, paste it everywhere. Or alternatively, I can select it, Control F, hitting Edit, Replace, Control R. And it will look for that, it will replace it, replace all. And that's it, basically. So I replaced all of them there. Anything else in this class? Looks like not. Loot table. Now it says expected 2 arguments. What are the arguments now? Data output and registry lookup. So let's take a look. Registry lookup. If we hit Alt-Enter, it constructor. And that's it, basically. Just remove the old one. Now I will run the game again. So other than the armor material receipt provider, again, as you see, the constructors are different. So Alt-Enter, constructor, remove this one. Here says that message and data. What does it need is send player as server player entity, okay, and payload. So now, basically, message and data in network is changed as custom payload. So we change this to custom payload and we call it payload. We will take a look at that later, but here we are sending in payload. We are not implementing something. And Alt-Enter, what are your problem? Okay, implement methods, get inverse tag. I will send null for time being, and this override method does not exist anymore. Get mining level. Okay, we will come back to these later because things are definitely changed here. Mod blocks uses or overrides a deprecated, and that is fabric block settings copy of. Now, if we take a look, there should be something. Yeah, abstract block.settings. So I will copy this, and it looks like if I put dot copy, and that is abstract block. So it now became copy, not copy of. You may ask yourself why things changed drastically. Remember, although it says Fabric block settings, it's not really related to Fabric mod developers themselves. It's related to the core functionality of Minecraft. So when Minecraft team is actually changing something, there is no other way for Fabric developers to compensate for that and update themselves so that everything works. And we will take a look at these abstract classes. It's a very powerful concept, but it was rarely used in previous versions of Minecraft. It looks like Minecraft is moving toward using abstract classes more and more. Before we had abstract furnace, for example, but here we have abstract block, and we will take a look at that later. However, let's get rid of the problems and see what is the process of handling problems inside your update process. So now we have tool material. Again, it should be the mining level, blah, blah, blah. Uses overrides, abstract, where it is. It's not been there. I think I missed someone. Oh, I missed a lot. So instead of this, I will Control C. Instead of the whole thing, I can say Control R, replace it with this, and replace all. So that's that. One more problem here. It says return value of the method is never used. I don't care about this one. Mod loot table provider. The whole problem is here. Raw use, it doesn't matter. Unchecked method, raw use, doesn't matter. So it says uses unchecked or unsafe. If I want to get rid of this error, it says inspection raw use of blah, blah. I can turn it off or suppress in the class and Control S. So let's run the game again and see what is remaining. What is there? I suppressed it anyway. Okay, so now the remaining big problems is these two. We have errors. I can ignore the warning. The very first one is inside here. It says interface expected here. Armor material is becoming is public final record armor material. So I think it's a record now. Let's take a look at the base of Minecraft itself and see how it did these, because armor material basically is a record now. Armor items extends armor, equip, blah, or let's see, armor materials. This is what we want. So it's a public class here that is registry entry armor material leather blah. Okay, so what did we have previously was an enum, and now armor material is actually a class. Actually, it's now a record. So if I say extends, again, it won't work. So armor material becoming a record changed a lot of things, basically. And this will continue forward. Minecraft is basically moving toward using codecs and records, basically. Let's take a look. It is asking for a map of type and integer for defense, then enchantability, then equip sound, then repair ingredient, layers, toughness, and knockback. We can do this. We can find the usage and inside all places. So let's see what we get and where we get it. New instance creation, that is where we want. So here's how we are registering it now. Basically, what we had is get the durability, get protection, enchantment, blah, 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 blah. But this time we are doing it differently. We are saying that, hey, some armor equals to armor materials that register a name util.make in a map for armor onto armor item type class that maps the boots, legging, chest plate, and helmet. That's the first param. Then the durability, then the equipment, then the toughness, knockback, and then repair ingredient goes for blah. Oh, we will come back to this a little bit later because you see we had knockback, toughness, repair ingredient, equip sound, enchantability, protection, durability. Basically, they dropped using enums and instead they started using records. So all I need to do now is to just comment this, and when we go back to armors, we will take a look and change that later. The last one, and I need to keep that one, is tool material. Again, I'm suspecting that it changed. So tool materials, we see that, for example, wood now became like this. And again, implements tool material, and tool material is an interface now. So it is still using interface. And get mining level changed and something added. So here we say implement methods, get inverse tag. Let's take a look at this one inside tool material, get durability, mining speed, attack damage, inverse tag. It doesn't have any documentation, enchantability, repair, and it's not providing mining level. Instead of that, let's take a look at what did they do. Now here it is. Inverse tag is, for example, it's wood. It's not, it's incorrect for the wood tool. Okay. And then item durability, mining level, get mining level. And here it is sending in only the durability, mining speed, attack damage, enchantability, and repair ingredient. So there is no mining level. And it's interesting because instead of mining level, now they are going for reverse tags. And that's how they are using it basically. This dot inverse tag. So we remove this one and we return null for time being. We will come back to this in the next videos. Basically, when you are just doing it like this, you see, get repair ingredient returns null. This is exactly what we are doing here. We are returning null for a reverse tag. And then we go to materials and armor materials. We will take a look at those updates later. However, the purpose of this video is to make sure that our game comes up and runs and our blocks are registered, our items are showing up, and telling you about the difficulty of upgrading your mod from one Minecraft version to another Minecraft version, especially when the API changes a lot, like these two material cases. And now it says incompatible mods found. Reborn Core and Tech Reborn. And as I said, we were not sure if they were correct for our case. Right now, I don't have any way of testing my mod for energy creation unless I add my own generator. To make the game work and come up, I just need to comment these two build.gradles and reload and refresh the Gradle. It won't take long this time because it doesn't have to download anything. And of course, I could turn on this offline mode, and that's the whole point of offline mode here. And I will come back when the Gradle is done. So as you see, the build was successful. Now if I run the game, basically we dropped Tech Reborn, and the game should come up. Until the game come up, let's talk about the difficulty here. When you update your mod for new version of Minecraft, and as you saw, very critical base concepts are changing, it's really time consuming to go back and get rid of the errors because first you have to understand what did change. For example, in armor materials and item materials. In the case of item materials, one thing was added, one thing was removed. You should understand how to use them. In the case of armor materials, the whole thing was changed. It was an interface, Now it's a record and the whole thing changes everything. So you have to understand the change itself first. Then you have to understand how to utilize that change and go back in your previously coded section and change the things to use it. Basically, in the case of tools, for example, it's really easy. You just go and find Minecraft inside net Minecraft item and items. You just have to look for a sword, any sword. Control F and choose sword, the source by the way. Okay, why did you lose the source? Okay, let's talk about the game first and then we come back and look at the source. Let's say that you got rid of all the errors the way you think it's okay. You have to load the game and then you should make sure that everything is working the way it should work. For example, walls are okay, bottom looks like it's okay. Let's add a redstone dust here and let's turn this guy off. Yeah, it's providing a redstone signal. This is working, so I'm sure everything will works there. And this guy needs a lever. So doors are working, fence gates are working, fences are working, and stairs, half slabs, pressure plates are working, and our blocks looks okay. And that's all we had so far. But in a very serious mod development, you will have tons of machines, blocks that has functionality, and you should put time and effort making sure that all these blocks and machines are working. For example, making sure that your, I don't know, for example, ore generation is working, ore processing is working. Any tools that you have, you should sit back and put 1 or 2 days into testing your mod section by section inside the game, making sure that everything works. And only then you can go on and continue your mod development and making sure that, hey, I'm okay with everything. Other than that, if there is any problem anywhere, you should sit back and think and solve that problem first. Now, what's the problem here? Why did I lose the sources? I don't care. I just generate the sources because I updated the Gradle. It dropped the sources. That's okay. I just generate the sources and choose the sources properly again. But right now, it looks like our mod, as we developed so far, is okay. It's working. And from now on, we have to continue. But let's say that we had an advanced mod. Where to start debugging the errors? You should start from where it makes sense. You should start from where you really understand and then move step by step forward until you get what is going on. For example, I want to see a sword and I know that items changed, item materials are changed. So I will look for a sword. It doesn't matter which one of the swords. And I see that I have a sword item here and I will move down. Here we go. Item sword is now registered as, well, ID, I know item is new sword item. That's okay. Tool materials, iron. Now I go into its declaration or usage because now I want to see how we can utilize the tool material. And it says that the inverse tag again is this block tags. So it's tool material, it's just that. However, if I want to find an armor, I don't know, let's go for helmet. And I will see, for example, something I'm really familiar with, an iron helmet, one of the oldest ones. And I see it says armor item. And you see that instead of using the old way, it's a new armor item. And now it uses armor materials iron. Again, I can go into declaration, finding it, and you will see that, hey, this is how you are defining a new armor material. Basically, you are using records instead of enums. The difference is that now it is using codec and it will automatically serialize, deserialize everything. In long story short, you have to find what is vanilla doing understand it. And yes, if you want to generate a new thing, copy it, come back and replace your old code with the thing that is really makes sense. And that is the only way for it. Thankfully, we were not that deep inside our own mod development. It was really nice. However, in future, there is a huge chance that items material change itself and becomes a record with codec. But thankfully, Minecraft developers are not jumping the ship, putting tons of things on our head and calling it a day. They are doing it step by step so that mod developers can adapt and can go and change the critical points of their mods step by step. Because thinking about a great mod like, I don't know, modern industrialization, God knows how many errors he has right now. I would say at least 8,000 maybe. So if you thought that 100 errors is a lot, no, not at all. And he has to stop publishing anything. Don't rush it. Go back, sit back, understand what has changed, how it was changed, and how you can utilize it, and then move one step forward. That is the correct process of handling these errors. As you saw, I left mod armor materials to the last section because I was like, oh, what is this now? How can I utilize it now? I don't know. Okay, forget it. And then same gone for the tool materials. And I was like, oh, I don't understand it. Wait a minute. Let's get rid of the errors first that I understand. What happened to the fabric settings? I looked inside the source code. It's easy. Abstract block.settings, item.settings. That's understandable. Okay, fix that. Fix that first. Then come back one step forward and see what is needed to be changed that you understand. For example, in this case, it was tool materials for me. Okay, it added one method, it dropped one method, and this is just an enum. So yeah, that's it. Although I'm still not certain on how we can use this get inverse tag, but I'm sure that it's a tag. So if I want to have my custom tier of the tools and materials, I have to provide some tag there. And that is basically how we can proceed forward. The last one is when you are dealing with things that you don't know how to handle. For example, enums for armor material are dropped completely. This is when you need to sit back and first understand the mechanics of vanilla completely, and then you will eventually find your way around the updates. My last piece of advice, don't rush updating your mod and publishing it. Give yourself time to understand what happened and what was changed and move from the section you are certain and sure toward the unsure lands. And finally, you have to deal with maybe some parts that you have no knowledge of. And that is when Fabric Discord will come handy. Go there, ask people questions, and get on with it. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone!